What's going on, football fans? Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you are in. I am Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy, and welcome to Thursday Night Gridiron here on the Sports Insanity Network. I am joined by John Haraska and the Vice President of the network, the one, the only, Danny, a boy, Reginald. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
Exhausted, but trying to relax right now so we can discuss some football.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sad. Season's changing. It's darker early,
Yeah, I hate that.
and the New York Jets are 3-7. And it's just
Better than the Giants at 2-8.
yeah, but the Giants are gonna win this week.
For the God's sake,
You
we
know,
lose the friggin' Panthers. Just
like
take that game and, in the words of Matt Hardy, delete,
you know,
delete.
but the
Delete.
Giants are gonna win this week because they are gonna sleep in and chill out. Y'all don't have to worry about even a snap of the ball.
Bro, have you seen how bad this team is? They'll find a way to lose the bye week. They will, am I right,
That's
John?
coming from a Giants fan.
They'll find a way to lose the bye week.
What do you think it is? Is it going to be dropping from second to third or third to fourth? What's the scenario here?
Daniel
Oh,
Jones will probably walk straight into a pole and enter concussion protocol.
with Daniel Jones, walking into a pole. Like if things couldn't get worse.
And you're still on the hook.
It'll
for
give
that
us
time.
Lock and DeVito trading off the start at quarterback.
Here's what I see coming soon. Either in the first pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Sharir Sanders, quarterback, University of Colorado. Or with the second pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Cam Ward, quarterback, University of Miami.
Oh boy, what is?
Yeah, the guy who roots for U of M football and really U of M sports in general, I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I take it too.
Oh.
Okay, well, gentlemen, it's time to discuss a nice, wholesome game of football.
Yeah, we go
Yes,
straight to
sir.
the Giants division tonight. How about this?
We got
Massive
ourselves
division matchup.
we
bro.
got ourselves a humdinger tonight. Guys, do people still say humdinger?
I only ever hear it used in the context of the entertainment center over in Paramus, New Jersey, called Humdingers.
I'm pro humdinger. So we got a humdinger of a game for you tonight. We got a good one. We got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. Reg, you know what this calls for?
Hmm?
Oh, we have good Thursday night games this year. Isn't this great? We actually have good Thursday night games.
Yeah, two straight.
Thanks
And
be to
two straight.
God.
And may I say, the Beltway has been treated to a nice Thursday night cushion here. Last week it was the Ravens. This
the
week it's the
Bengals.
Commanders. So
Ah.
everyone's all excited about football around here, dude. It is wild what a year can do for the Washington Commanders, who are 7-3, Billy boy.
They're 7-3.
And they're coming off a tough loss to the Steelers, but it's the Steelers. We have to remind ourselves, Bill. The Steelers are a good team. Mike Tomlin's a great coach, and you just know that Steeler team was not going to be an easy win. So look, it is what it is. Commanders can dust it off, move forward. They had to pivot quickly because they're on the road in Philly, and it's going to be a tough one. The Eagles are also a good team. We also talk about how they're not as good as they think they are, Bill. We always talk about that, and that has not changed.
Who, the Eagles or the Commanders? Commanders. Sorry.
Eagles.
Yeah. Because we have always said that the Eagles are overrated.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more to that in a second. But first, let's talk about the Washington Commanders. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Commanders, like Reggie said, They come off a loss of 28-27 against the Steelers, in which a touchdown was scored by former Jet Mike Williams.
Yeah, yeah. So how about that? He ran the red line, Aaron Rodgers. You fuck you. Excuse my language. You know, but yeah. How about that? Yeah, you kind of wish you could have had Mike Williams on your fucking team, right? You know, just
I
saying,
know, right?
just saying. Maybe he wasn't the problem.
Jaden Daniels went 17 out of 34 yards, 202, 17 completions for 34 yards, 202, 17 completions for 34 attempts.
Hey, yeah, Bill. There you go.
God, sorry, can't talk tonight.
Yeah, it's all good.
202 yards, two touchdowns from Austin Eckler, one from Jeremy McNichols. So you know what? I have to ask you all of you. I have to ask you all a very important question. Is Dan Quinn front runner for the rookie of the year? And we have a cameo by one of John's cats.
Jilly says yes. And I am going to agree with her because the Commanders had an over under 6.5 win expectancy at the beginning of the season. They exceeded that in week 9. And to do such a thing is a whole team effort. So even though Jaden Daniels, he's been kicking some serious ass on the gridiron, I would dare say it is the coaching of Dan Quinn who is a big part of that success. I won't go so far as to say that it's the entire or even the biggest reason, but if we're talking about just coaches, then I would say Quinn is my top guy.
If you asked me a couple weeks ago, I was going to say it was either him or Kevin O'Connell from Minnesota. But
Seems like a solid choice.
I'm going to say it's Dan Quinn. I'm going to say it's Dan Quinn. Like, this is a guy who, listen, the head coaching record, because everybody brings up 28-3. Then he got fired by Atlanta. And then he went as a defensive coordinator for Dallas. But you got to look, a man who was far from Washington's first choice as head coach. Under new ownership,
Yeah.
they were probably expecting to get someone like a Mike McDonald or Ben Johnson as their head coach because we got a second pick, we're gonna get a new QB, and we got that with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
But then when you got Dan Quinn, you're thinking, oh crap, here we go. Does Dan Quinn still have that head coaching chops in him, or is he done?
Yeah.
And listen, Dan Quinn.
I remember we talked about this on the offseason.
Yes, we did.
We knew Washington did not really want to hire Dan Quinn. They really wanted to get Ben Johnson out of Detroit, but Johnson decided to stay another year in Detroit. And
He might be your new head coach next year, Reggie.
I mean, I'll keep it in the lookout for that. But I mean, and rightfully so. He stayed in Detroit. Detroit is by far the best team in the NFL. So good kudos to him. But the Commanders never really wanted Dan Quinn. He was just sort of like a candidate that was just out there, just in case. And obviously, backup plan is, he just comes in and he coaches the team, and backup plan's working because Dan Quinn, especially on defense, he has his team ready to go. They are tough. They um he has a great coaching staff. Love what Cliff Kingsbury is doing with Jaden Daniels. And you're seeing this swagger with this team that I have not seen in a long time, especially since I've been down in the region. I've never seen this much swagger with the Commanders. And they've gone through a lot of hard times, the name change and what's their real identity. Ron Rivera and the mediocre 5-11, 6-10, well, whatever it was seasons that they had, right? So we did not know what this team really was. We now know the Washington Commanders, and look, they're slowly building their identity. It's going to be a slow process. A lot of good fortunes. Sale of the team from Dan Snyder, going to Josh Harris, and then of course hiring Dan Quinn, getting Peters from San Francisco to be their GM. That's been huge, much bigger than a lot of people think. So this team right now is clicking. Like I said, tough loss on Sunday, but they're clicking, and everyone can acknowledge
Oh,
that.
they absolutely are clicking right now.
Yeah.
And this team has just been an absolute powerhouse right now. And never thought I'd be saying that about the Washington Commanders right now, Reg.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean this Jaden Daniels, man, he is the real deal. I'm telling you right now. And look, we knew this. He was gonna be a good quarterback. But skeptical about what a young coaching staff is gonna look like. I mean, it's a good spot for him, John.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
I 100% agree with both of you. John, what do you think?
Well, as far as
Yeah, no, wait.
most,
Yeah, we talked about Dan Quinn. Whoops.
yeah.
Okay. But
Sorry,
no,
I zoned out for a sec.
yeah. Our brains aren't working tonight, folks.
I think it's because we're
Please
so
bear with us.
excited about this matchup that we just can't believe that it's on a Thursday night. We actually have a good matchup to watch,
Yeah.
and we hope it's not a
So
lot.
who deserves the most credit for their success?
Um, that to tie into my previous point, I'm going to say Jaden Daniels himself.
Great minds think alike. I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah, because like before his week 7 injury, in which he only lasted 5 snaps on the offensive side of the ball, he was averaging 11 carries and 28 pass attempts per game. Now, 7 carries and 31.3 passes per game since then. And just look at how well the Commanders are doing. Like I said, they exceeded their preseason win expectation. They are doing what they can to preserve their quarterback and prevent future injury. I I dare say, like, ahead of Dan Quinn, Daniels is hands down the head guy for who is the biggest piece of the success story this year.
Yeah, yeah, he's well on his way to a rookie of the year type of thing, and I guess you know you can even throw him in the MVP. He's not going to win MVP, but you can even throw him into that conversation just because of how he is when he plays this football. And look, obviously, the Commanders are just a good overall team. They have a good defense. The running game is terrific. They have a great receiving core. Like there's aspects of this team that are also good besides Jaden Daniels, but he makes this team better. And it's been very obvious from the start. Even in his first game, he didn't have the greatest first game, but man, like you can tell he has a lot of good talent, and he's slowly been making the big time plays. How many times can we see a pass from Daniels to McLaurin in a massive spot? Like that's happened a few times this year, and it's led to wins. So just saying, like Washington has something with this kid, and they are confident in him. They trust him, and it's just it's a tremendous vibe. And then now that you get this big matchup here with the Eagles, and the two fans they're clashing again, the rivalry's renewed. Like it's a good time to be a fan. It's a really good time to be a fan.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you, Reggie. Like, we got this rivalry coming out of the NFC East. We got the Eagles, we got the Commanders. And Jaden Daniels, I'm going to agree with you guys. At the number 2 pick, he's doing much better than the number 1 pick. Am I right, fellas?
To be fair, the Bears are in a massive hole right now. Like they're in a tough spot. They're in a really tough spot. You know, maybe keeping Eberflus while getting rid of your front office is like the recipe for success. You know.
Right now, Jaden Daniels has 2,147 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Let's just ask the question now. I know you briefly touched upon it, Rich. Is he rookie of the year?
I mean, I would give it to him. I
I
mean,
think he's rookie of the year.
I would as well, man. Sheesh, 2 interceptions in what, 9 or 10 games so far?
10 games, yeah.
Hey, he's doing
Man,
good.
that is impressive.
And he knows, and he's very much aware, and he's still learning that there's still mistakes that he makes, but he's learning the flow of the professional game, and he's not making the big mistake. Okay, he has a couple interceptions, but were they big mistakes? That's the big question. Have they cost them some games? The answer is no. So that's the thing, and that builds his confidence a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. And shoot, anyone's going to make mistakes from veterans at the top all the way down to rookies. But it's learning from those mistakes that will make a more successful athlete. And damn it, Daniels is easily translating that success week in and week out.
Yeah, and Washington's lucked into it. Let's be honest. You know, we don't know what these rookie quarterbacks can be like going into the first season. And you hit on it. You hit the nail on it. He has far exceeded as well as the team has far exceeded any expectation possible. And that's tremendous news for Washington. Tremendous. Again, I don't know how this outcome's going to come tonight. We don't know what it's going to look like.
We don't have a crystal ball unless
but
the NFL
just-
writers want to tell us.
Yeah, but but just be excited. You know, we're in the middle of November, and we're talking about the Commanders being in the thick of a playoff picture.
They're usually out of the discussion by
Yeah,
early
exactly.
October.
Or if it's the NFC
yeah.
East like it was 4 years ago, like come on now.
That was absolutely terrible.
Oh
It
God.
was, and we remember it, don't we, boys?
Oh yeah.
Man, the NFC East has
Honestly,
gone through a lot of curveballs in their division. You know, a lot of teams going up and down, up and down. We don't know exactly, well, not the Giants, but up and down. You know, we don't know exactly what we're getting out of them. Yeah, tough.
But anyway. So anyway, yeah, the Commanders I think, are going to be the team to beat in the NFC East. We got to see what happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's time to flip the ball.
Ooh, salute, Bill.
Thank you. For those of you who are paying attention, I sneezed. Anyway, um, anyway, let's flip the ball to the team with the worst fans in the NFL. No, we're not kidding around. The Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, I was about to say the New England Patriots, but whatever. Or the Buffalo Bills.
Worst fans in the league.
honestly, I disagree with the notion that the Patriots have the worst fans in the league. I feel like that was a Tom Brady era holdover. But even then, Philly fans were pretty bad.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles last week destroyed the Dallas Cowboys.
As a Giants fan, that's bittersweet because I don't like either of those teams. Commanders, I'm indifferent towards. We don't usually hear much from them as Giants, week 9 aside. But no, I have
Week 2
developed a
aside.
strong dislike for Philly and DC football over the years. Or excuse me, Philly and Dallas. My apologies. I,
So anyway,
yeah.
the Eagles last week beating the Cowboys 34-6. Our condolences go out to Mark Oldlop, Sky Halpern. Whilst we wish him a speedy recovery. Jalen Hurts went 14 completions for 20 yards, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And Jalen Hurts even got 2 rushing touchdowns.
Impressive, I say.
7 carries, 56 yards. And touchdown passes by Dallas Goedert and Johnny Wilson. All right. What has been the biggest reason for their 5-game win streak?
I'm going to say it's starting their rookie Cooper DeJean at the nickelback position. And since they did that, the Phillies only allowing 13 points per game. And this season, overall, they're the second fewest yards allowed in a game with 274.1, a close second to Tennessee with 273.6, and a distant third from Houston with 288 flat. And keep this in mind, guys. DeJean was the second round pick for the Eagles in the 2024 draft, and he's made some pretty clutch plays against some elite wideouts in the Bengals, Jamar Chase, and more recently, CD Lamb of the Cowboys.
That's true. Well, Reg, what do you think is the key to success right now?
Saquon.
Oh, I agree.
And
it was a toss-up for me between him and DeJean, but
yeah,
I want to give DeJean a little bit of coverage myself.
I mean, for sure, but to me, you could expand your running game with the skill of Saquon Barkley. So that's been massive for them. I know you want to we don't want to say this because we don't like the guy. But Nick Sirianni, let's be honest, I know his team has had some really piss poor offensive performances this season, and it's been showed. But when his offense is going, it's going. So just being fair, because I see it. I see it when they actually explode. So give him a little credit, Saquon a little credit, Jalen Hurts. He deserves some credit too because he's actually running a pretty damn good offense.
For sure.
Kind of a shame though that they're not. I mean, look, they're 7-2. I mean, they're it's like, but it's kind of a shame that they're not better than that because I think they can be. That I honestly think that they could be much better, but the team has shown you time and time again that they worry you. They worry you about their performances because some of these wins they have to squeak out in the skin of their teeth. It's it's not the greatest. Yeah. So my big thing is Saquon. Having him there and expanding your running game has been massive for the Eagles. The Eagles get a massive break because I know that the Commanders just traded for him, Marshawn Lattimore. He's not playing tonight, so that's a massive win if you're the Eagles and the offense because playing any DB that's massive in the league it's a tough matchup. But so the offense you can expect to open up the playbook a little bit more.
Absolutely. Well, here's what I think is the biggest reason for their 5-game win streak. Philadelphia is first in NFL in rush yards per game, 194 yards, and they are third in offensive points scored per game at 29.4 since week 6. And their defense is one of the best in the league. They're first in yards allowed per game
Yeah.
and first in yards per play at 3.7. We talk about Saquon, so I think this team could have something going here. What do you think?
Oh yeah, you talk about how well they've been doing on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. I tell you, I'm about as scared of them as I am of Washington this year. And I didn't think like I could expect to say that about the Eagles, 9 seasons out of 10.
Mhm.
But the Commanders, holy cow. They've been a surprise, but do not count them out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if I'm the Eagles, I would definitely worry about the Commanders overall. I know they got some big players out, but man, I mean, it looks good. It's gonna be a tough matchup no matter what, you know? Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Next question. Do you trust Nick Sirianni in a big start, like in a big spot, like going for fourth down and 2-point conversions?
Depending on the situation, really is, he has at times um shown that he may be a little over aggressive, but not in a bad way. So I can't um kill him for that. But what I will say is um he is the coach that can get you to a win if you need the right call. So in a way, yeah, in a way, no. It really depends on the situation, really. And he's
I'm
had some
gonna
really,
say,
really bad calls, play calling and stuff. So just yeah, I trust him enough to get you a win. But there's also that gray area too, where there are times where he does kind of piss you off.
right. And I'll say against the Commanders, it's a little shakier because they're a division rival and they're doing well.
Yeah.
So tonight, I'm not so sure I would trust him. Against most, if not any other team, absolutely, I'm putting the ball in his hands, saying, if you want to go for it on fourth, if you want to try for a 2-pointer instead of one, go
God
for it.
bless you. But you got to look at it this way. On fourth down tries, the Eagles are 11 for 17, which is a 64.7% conversion rate, which is
That's
actually the seventh highest in the NFL.
yeah, that's nearly 2 out of every 3. So
Yeah. So you like their chances on fourth down, which is a good thing if they're ever in that situation. Um,
And they had three 2-point conversions, which is the highest this season.
yeah, I guess but the biggest thing is don't get too fourth down, and it's gonna be a tough match to do that. But try to get your offense out there and coming out swinging so that they don't have to have these big fourth down conversions. You want to start out strong if you're the Eagles. You don't want to start off slow.
without a doubt, man.
Okay. I want to ask y'all this. And was not a question for tonight, but I'm asking it anyway. Is this a statement game for the Eagles?
No, it's a statement game for the Commanders.
I'm gonna agree
Okay.
with you there.
Elaborate.
Yeah, but the Eagles though, obviously a win would put them ahead in the division and make things a little tougher for Washington in terms of getting that division. Because let's be honest, Washington can make the playoffs, with 3 more wins and they'll be fine. But the goal is always to get the best seed possible to put yourself in a good spot for when you make the playoffs. And this team has the Washington Commanders. They have experience. So do the Eagles. So it's right up that alley. It's pretty damn good.
Oh, absolutely. And I will say to win a divisional matchup as a team that's doing well against a team that's doing well, that for me is absolutely huge. So definitely a statement game for the Commanders. Could be one for the Eagles, but it depends on who you ask.
Mhm.
I say definitely more siding with the Commanders on this one because the Eagles, you kind of expect them to do well
Yeah,
most
they,
years.
they don't
The
have a lot to
Commanders,
prove.
they are just riding high, getting hot exactly when they need to.
Yeah, yeah, they don't have a lot to prove, but they do, um, they do want to show that they are the strongest team in the NFC. Commanders have a lot to prove though. They need to show that they're also world beaters. Let's see. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
But
Interesting
you know
stuff.
what? I'm going to say this to you, fellas. I'm going to disagree with you, Reg. I think this is a statement game for the Eagles because you got to look at it this way. What do we always say here? The Eagles are the most overrated team because when you look at this 5 game win streak they've been on, the 5 game win streak they've been on, who've they beaten? They beaten the Browns, they beaten the Giants, sad face for me and John. They beaten the Bengals, they beat the Jaguars, and they beat the Cowboys. They basically all beat teams that are below 500. So that's and tying back to that 5 game win streak question, I think that's another key. They just been playing, they just had a mediocre schedule. They've been playing teams that are at best mediocre.
Yeah,
So
and
this is where I disagree with you, Reg. If they win, I think the Eagles tonight is a statement game for them.
I mean, look, the, I think it's a game for them. It's a big game for them, obviously, because it involves division and everyone's in everything's on the line here. But in terms of statement wins, the Eagles don't really need statement wins because they've been a huge part of the NFL structure, uh, at least this version of this team for a while now. So we don't expect statement victories, especially with a team that is going to be one of the best in the league. Commanders, we had no idea what they were going to look like, and they now have shown us that they are a very competitive team, that they have someone that they can trust on. So it is more of a statement for them because they have to prove that they are big time, and then they're not just uh I don't want to say the fraud word, but frauds, which I don't think they are. I don't think Commanders are frauds. I think they're a very good team. But they have to show that now.
No, and
And
and here's the thing.
big
I think if the
win against
Eagles lose tonight, they're frauds. They're frauds
I mean, in a way, yes, because we expect so much from them,
because they've been
but
having such a
not
weak
in
schedule.
not in the way that you think, though, Bill. They're not incredibly huge frauds. They're more like, well, I don't know if they're going to be as serious of a team as we thought they were, but
fair point.
they're still a good team, though. That's not changing.
Yeah. But then after this game, they're only really going to have for the rest of the season, they're only going to really have 2 competitive games.
Yeah.
They're going to have the Ravens in week 13, the Commanders in 3 competitive games, excuse me. Ravens in week 13, Eagles in week 15, and the Commanders again in week 16.
Mhm.
So, other than that, they got the Rams, Panthers, the Cowboys again, and the Giants again. So, this is them to prove, hey, we're actually a good team. We're not a fluke. So I think that's why tonight, I think if the Eagles lose, they're frauds.
I just don't like the Eagles.
Oh, me
So
neither.
as much as I want them to lose, it's very possible that they're going to win.
Oh, it could happen. Okay. Our next question is which team do you think would be a bigger threat in the playoffs?
Eagles, because of their experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Eagles based on that, plus their defensive lineup change if they hold that through the playoffs. And that the biggest thing, which is an all-season thing, not just their 5-game win streak, like you said, Saquon Barkley. He is just absolutely tearing it up in the run game. Yes, we don't like that he went away from the Giants, but man, I knew he was going to be successful wherever he landed.
I'm going to say the Eagles as well because they have the experience. But anyway, which quarterback would you rather have for the next 5 years? Jalen Hurts or Jaden Daniels?
I'm going to say Hurts because the chemistry he has with Saquon Barkley is just
Huge.
so electric. And Jalen Hurts is a fairly consistent quarterback anyway. You add a piece like Barkley onto the team, all bets are off. Just horses off to the races, the whole 9 yards. Like we were saying, Jaden Daniels, he's really good, but he's just getting started. Hurts has been here before.
Yeah. I think the stock is really high on Hurts. I need another year with Daniels before I could really trust him to be the big time quarterback that he is. And again, it's not knocking what he's done so far. He's been tremendous so far, but and it's again about experience. And right now, Jalen Hurts just has more experience.
No, I'm going to say Jaden Daniels, mainly because he's younger, and I'm excited to see what he can do throughout his time here in the NFL. So I'm the oddball out here, but I'm going to say Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, what are your X factors for tonight?
Jaden Daniels, come out swinging.
Oh, easily. Daniels for the Commanders. And I would say for the Eagles offense, it's their run game. For the Eagles defense. What was that guy I mentioned earlier? DeJean.
Yeah, I think the Eagles defense for me, in terms of them,
Oh,
the Eagles defense needs to be big tonight.
I'm going to say for the Commanders, I'm going to say Jaden Daniels. For the Eagles, I'm going to say the defensive line and Saquon. All right, gentlemen, predictions for tonight. Let's start with Danny Boy Reg.
I think this will be close, very competitive. Ultimately, the brotherly shove will propel the Eagles to victory.
brotherly show. That's clever. Even as a Giants fan, I like that.
The tush
I
push.
like that play on words. I'm going to say also a close game. Eagles within a touchdown.
Okay, I'm going to be the oddball out again. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I like what I'm seeing right now, but I like you guys. I think it's going to be a very close game. I'm going to say
Yeah.
Commanders by 3.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm right with you on that. More like between one and like a touchdown, I'll say. It's gonna be pretty close.
It's going to be a humdinger tonight.
It's gonna be an absolute dogfight.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Yeah.
All right, so that is our show for tonight. I'd like to thank these two fine gentlemen for joining me tonight. If you want to know more, go to www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. Check out our blogs, check out our history. Check us out, our podcast, available on all platforms. Don't forget to also check us out on social media. And most importantly, like, comment, subscribe here on YouTube, and hit that bell to get more notifications. For Danny Boy Reginald, John Haraska, I'm Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy. Thank you for watching Thursday Night Gridiron here on the Sports Insanity Network. So from all of us here, stay safe. Take care.